Delectable Delights is a compilation of the 8 cooking shows that I did for Lisa's Bon Appetit catering company here in Torrance, California. They were received with great enthusiasm and with many requests for recipes and to be viewed again. So, due to popular demand, I put together this 90-minute video along with this 84-page recipe booklet. It gives you detailed instructions on recreating these fabulous dishes. I really hope you enjoy them, and on with the show. Hello, I'm Chef Peter V., Executive Chef here at Lisa's Bon Appetit Catering, and today I'm going to do something a little different for you. I'm going to do California food. I don't really know what California food is, but this is kind of a mixture, a conglomerate, if you will, of Middle Eastern with a California fresh touch, Cornish game hen, which is uniquely American. We're going to do that with a 3 mushroom sauce, which may be French, who knows. So we're going to call it Californian. I don't know what it is, but it's delicious. That I do know. Starting over here, I have some chicken stock. It's been defatted and it's hot, and I'm going to turn it up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and then I'm going to add all of these ingredients to the chicken stock, and that will give it a really nice flavor. And then I'm going to add couscous. Couscous is a grain. It's a wheat grain from North Africa, and very popular in Morocco, whatever, but it's become more and more popular here in America because it's wonderfully healthy and really, really nice, and it's something that you want to try, and I'm sure that you're going to love this dish. So we start by adding our ingredients to the chicken stock here. Now here I just have a little onion, little white onion, and I'm just going to add that right in. That gives it a nice flavor. A little red pepper, you know, and red pepper has a lot of vitamin A, but it also adds that beautiful color and a little crunch, and so that's going to go in. And here I have a little chopped zucchini, green, nice, fresh. That goes in. We'll get a nice flavor and color from that. Here I have a yellow summer squash, beautiful at this time of year, and that goes in. So we have all those beautiful colors mixed in there. Few green peas just to kind of round the thing out. That's going to go in. Then for more color, more crunch, more vitamins, some nice chopped carrots. So here, if you can see in this pot now, you have all these beautiful vegetables. And I'm just going to let these come up to just a little simmer, and I'm going to add just a little dash of salt and pepper, not much, but just a little dash. Maybe a teaspoon or so, I think. Not much more than that. And then also I want to put in there just a little butter, not a lot, maybe a tablespoon or so. But if you didn't want the butter, you could eliminate it altogether. Not absolutely necessary, but I think it just adds a nice little richness to the dish, and so that's going in also. And then I'm just going to let this come up to temperature for a moment, and then I'm going to add the couscous. In the meantime, the couscous is going to be topped with a Cornish game hen, which we're going to roast in the oven. But before we roast it, we're going to season it, and here I have a little cornbread stuffing. And for this, I've merely sautéed some onions, some celery, a little red pepper, and added a few fresh herbs, you know, thyme, a little oregano, the stuff that I like, you know. But you can add whatever you prefer. And if you like this recipe, I'll gladly send it to you. So for our Cornish game hen, I'm just going to kind of just add a little salt here into the cavity, and maybe just a little on the outside. And then I'm going to take this stuffing and just slightly fill it, you know, not a lot, but just a little bit. You don't want to pack it in there, but you do want it a little bit full. Now, these game hens are 20 ounces, so they can serve either 1 or 2 people. If you have a very big eater like myself, for instance, maybe 1. But you know, most people will eat a half a hen, which is probably plenty. And I just get that filled, and I have a little piece of string here, and I'm just going to kind of just tie up one leg like this, and then just take this and loop it around and tie the other one. So this just keeps the hen together while it's cooking and keeps that stuffing in there. There we go. Now this is all ready for the pan. And I'm just going to put that right there, and that's ready to go. Now I can hear our chicken stock is boiling here. You see this has come up. Oh, what a beautiful aroma. And right now it's boiling. I'm going to add our couscous. And that's all I need to do here. Then I'm just going to stir this around. And in 2 or 3 minutes, this will have absorbed all the couscous. And look at how beautiful that is. And that will be ready to be served. Look at how gorgeous. I call this jeweled couscous because the vegetables are like little jewels in this beautiful kind of crown, if you will, of couscous. It's one of my favorite dishes, one that I'm sure you enjoy. And what I'm going to serve along with the couscous and the Cornish game hen is a 3-mushroom sauce, a 3-mushroom port wine sauce. And this is really a delectable sauce, and one I think that you'll really enjoy. So this Cornish game hen now is ready for the oven. I could take and just add maybe a touch of butter to it, just right on top here. Not much, just so that it gives it a little moisture, and it's ready to go in the oven. Now our couscous, as I said, is done, and we'll just set that aside. And then I'm going to start our 3-mushroom sauce. Now this is a very easy sauce, beautifully done. I have 3 types of mushrooms here. I have your normal, average, regular mushroom, and then I have some reconstituted shiitakes and some reconstituted porcinis. These are both available in your markets fresh, but you can also find them dried, and then you just pour a little boiling water over them, let them sit for a half an hour, and they refresh themselves. Squeeze any extra water out, and then I have a little veal stock here to which I've added the juice from the mushrooms, and here I have a little port wine, some shallots, and a little butter. So now that my pan is a little hot, I'm going to put a dab of this butter in here, maybe a tablespoon or so, just like that. And I'm going to add some chopped shallots to it. That gives nice aroma, beautiful flavoring. And I also have a little garlic, and I'm going to add just a little bit of garlic to it, not too much, just a little bit like that. Then I'm going to add our mushrooms and our other mushrooms. So now we have our 3 mushrooms in there, and they just need to kind of saute for a little bit. And as you saute the mushrooms, they will give up their water. They'll exude a little bit of their water. And we need to add just a little bit of salt and pepper here, just kind of a dash to that. And that is just about ready. Oh, boy, that is so nice. I can get the really nice aroma from the garlic mixing with the 3 type of mushrooms and the shiitakes and the porcinis. Just have that wonderful woodsy flavor, make the difference. So once they kind of start to, now you can start to see that they're giving up their water. They give you a little sweat on top, if you will. We just want to give them a little toss. And you don't be afraid to do this. He's sleeping. Now, here's a little port wine. Gonna go in. Make a little flame. There we go. Oppa. Yeah, we like that little flame, you know, that gives you a little niceness. And that burns off the alcohol. And now we're going to add to that our veal stock. You can buy veal stock at one of your better food emporiums, or you can make it at home. If you like, call me here at Lisa's and we'll tell you how to make it. The veal stock is in. We'll just give that a little stir, and this looks delightful. Now here's our little secret ingredient. Here I have a little grape jelly. This is going to add just that little balance to it, and when we pour it over the bird, it's going to give it a little glaze, and you're really going to enjoy this. And so in goes this little bit of jelly. You don't want too much, but just that little bit adds that extra dimension to the sauce, and that's what you're looking for, the extra dimension. And we just give this a nice little stir. Now, in days of yore, we would have added some cream to this, but we're leaving that out. Just saying, I'm learning, slimming down. And here, and our sauce is ready. And I can tell that that is just done to perfection. Now I'm going to get our bird from the oven and put this all on a plate for you and show you how beautiful it is. Okay. I have a platter here. And here's our beautiful couscous. Can you see how gorgeous this is? I just love this. I'm just going to fluff this up with a fork. And you can see why we call it jeweled couscous. Because the vegetables in there are just like a jewel. Gorgeous. And I'm packing it into this bowl. And the reason I'm doing that will become apparent in just a second, because what I'm going to do is I'm looking to create a little height dimension, just like that. And we have a beautiful mound. And here we have our bird right out of the oven. And I just want to remove the string from around the edges here. So we remove the string. You always want to remove the string. People don't like to eat that. And here we're just going to prop up our bird right against our couscous. And now we have our lovely sauce. And we're just going to give that a little stir. And then the mushroom sauce goes right over. Oh, boy. Oh, I can't tell you how wonderful this smells. I hope that you'll make this at home, because this is really a delightful dish. And I'm going to just pour the rest of the sauce right around the edge here, just like that. There's our finished product. I think that it's one that you'd be proud to serve at home. This just smells great. I think you're going to love this. Jeweled couscous with Cornish game hen, 3 mushroom sauce. Try it. It's really something. I'm Peter V. Hope to see you next time. I'm Chef Peter V., Executive Chef here at Lisa's Bon Appetit Catering. And today I've got a very special treat for you. We're going to do paella valenciana. That's paella from Valencia. Paella is basically a rice casserole. But in Valencia, being a seaport, they make it with both chicken and sausage, and then all this beautiful seafood that you see here. So this is really a dish fit for kings. And what makes it really special is the addition of saffron, the most expensive spice in the world. Saffron are the little stamen from the crocus flowers, and they're picked one by one, so they're very expensive, but they add that unique flavor. Paella is named for its pan, the paellero. And this is the typical shape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm the pan with a little bit, and I'm going to let it get a little warm. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. And while the olive oil is heating up, and we're just going to get that spread around, I'm going to go over and let you know what the rest of these ingredients are. Okay, we have, as always, a little onion and garlic, very important. Chicken, as I mentioned, oftentimes a main ingredient in doing paellas. We also have sausage. Now, in Spain, they use chorizo, But here I'm using a cilantro duck sausage made locally in California. It's really delightful. It has a little bit of a bite to it, and you want a little bit of a heat there. We naturally have some tomatoes. We have some beautiful artichoke hearts, some green peas so that you get a contrast in color. We have some red pimentos. And then for our seafood, we have crab, mussels, clams, and we even have a little bit of lobster here. And these beautiful, huge prawns, these big, huge prawns. And in our vegetables, we also have some fresh asparagus. So this is going to be a wonderful dish. Now, our oil has gotten very hot here, and that's just what we're looking for, because we're going to saute our onions in there very quickly. And you can hear that sizzle, which is exactly what we want. We want to put that right around. Oh, and there's one other ingredient that I have here because we're using arborio rice. What we need is some hot chicken stock, which has been defatted. So we saute our onions. We're going to add some garlic to that. That'll give some nice flavor. And then right away we're going to add our chicken because that has to cook. And this is just chicken that's been cut up. And we just keep moving this stuff around right on top. Oftentimes people think that paella is done in the oven, and this can be finished in the oven, but it can also be done just right on top of the stove there. And so that goes in. And then next I'm going to throw in our rice, and I'm going to put all that, well, I think it'll take just about all of this. I'll put that whole thing in, and I'll just get rid of that. And we're just going to make sure that all the rice is coated with the onion and garlic oil. The chicken is already cooking there. Now the sausages have been par-cooked, they've been parboiled, so they go right in. And that's done. Now you add ingredients here as to how long it takes them to cook. So we started off with stuff that needs to cook longer, to stuff that doesn't need so much cooking. And the idea is to get a good mixture here. Now we're going to put in our tomatoes. This will give not only color. Look at how beautiful this is looking already. Okay. And now I'm going to start adding a little bit of liquid. There. I want this to come up. You can see this nice aroma. The aroma is coming up already. And look at how pretty the dish is looking already, and we've just begun. Now I'm going to add in our red bell pepper. Move those around. You notice that I'm adding the liquid for the rice a little at a time. The chicken stock goes in a little at a time. As the paella absorbs it, as the rice absorbs it, I will add more and more until you get a nice, firm, creamy rice that's tender but still holds its shape and firmness. Now I can add in my peas, and look at this. Look at the contrast in color that we're getting already here. Oh boy, this thing looks so yummy. This is truly a wonderful dish. I hope you make this at home. Now this will feed 4. Here I'm making this for 4, but you know, I may even feed, well, depending on the person's appetite. Now I'm going to add the saffron. I've taken these little stamen, I told you the most expensive spice in the world, and I've just put a little water in that softens it up. And now this will not only add the flavor, but you'll see it'll turn a beautiful yellow color. We'll add a yellow color to that, and I'm going to just rinse that out to make sure. And you can see right away that the color is changing. So, see how we get that beautiful yellow color from the saffron. There. Now, most of the liquid has been absorbed now. You can see it's bubbling up. I'm going to add just a little bit more. It's important that your stock is hot. when you add this, because otherwise it'll slow down the cooking, and you want this to be done. This is all completed in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how hot your chicken stock is. Now, as that comes to a nice boil, I'm going to start placing in my artichoke hearts, and those just go placed around the side here. Beautiful. So this is all very, very nice. And now we have our asparagus. We're going to make a little pattern here like this, so we have little spokes. There we go. Look at that. Boy, that's a little hot too. Okay, now we can start adding our seafood. Now in our seafood, we're going to add the clams, and because they take the longest to cook, we're putting those face up like this, just kind of burying them in the paella, so they're surrounded. And doesn't this look gorgeous? I mean, absolutely gorgeous here. And then our mussels will go in, and we'll just place those randomly. You want to get a nice pattern here. A little spoke here. These things look great. I mean, I think that this looks really great. And the aroma is unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. But look at what a beautiful dish this is becoming already. Here I have two more, and I don't want to waste these, so I'll find a home for them like that. And now we have our crab claws. They can just be laid right on top here, because they're basically cooked. All that these need to do is be warmed, actually. So we'll put those in there. And then we have our lobster. And I have a lobster tail here, so that's kind of the focal point. I'll put that right there in the center. And then we have these big, beautiful prawns, and I'll just lay those in wherever they'll fit. So you can see how building this is so much fun. I mean, it's just, and look at this dish. I mean, if this doesn't impress you, sweetheart, nothing will. That's gorgeous. Okay, here we got one more. We'll put it right in the middle there, just like that. Now, I can tell we just need a little bit more stock just to finish it off here, so that the rice is coming up. And you can smell all this seafood. It's heavenly. And what a dish. Now I'm just going to cover this. Needs to cook for just a couple of minutes here. And as it steams, the clams will open, the mussels and the shrimp will exude their juices, and everything melds together, and you have a dish that's truly fit for a king. This is something. Watch. Look at the color. Look at the beauty of this seafood. Look at how everything's melded together. And we should have smell-o-vision, because this would knock your socks off. I mean, this is one terrific dish. And you saw how easy. I mean, simple to make. You just add one ingredient after the other. Make sure your chicken stock is hot, because that's important. Use the proper rice. Have all your stuff ready. 1, 2, 3, easily done. And what a dish. Is that something you'd be proud to put on your table? I mean, a little sprinkle, and my goodness, I don't know what more you could ask for. I'm Chef Peter V. Thanks for being with me. Looking forward to seeing you again. Ni hao ma. That's Chinese for how are you? Hi, I'm Peter V., Executive Chef here at Lisa's Bon Appetit, and I'm glad to be with you this evening. I guess you might have guessed from the introduction that I'm going to do some Chinese for you. That's the wonderful thing about working here at Lisa's. We get to do Greek one day and Chinese the next, but these Chinese appetizers, or dim sum. Actually means to touch your heart in Chinese, dim sum. And I'm starting off with the ingredients, and I'll go through them with you for a minute here. What I have here is some very lean ground pork and some lean ground chicken. Now, it could be all ground pork, but in this case, I put a little chicken in to lessen the fat content of it. You know, everybody's watching the fat nowadays. And let me go through the rest of the ingredients here. Here I have some egg white, some shrimp. I have some sesame seed oil, some white pepper, some finely chopped shiitake mushrooms, a little bit of fresh chopped ginger, some finely chopped cabbage, and over here I have some pickled gingers, some chopped cilantro, some very hot, spicy mustard. Here is some fresh chopped garlic, and here's some more chopped cilantro, some chopped carrots, and here I have a little oil for sauteing, some soy sauce, and just a little bit of cornstarch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this cornstarch right on top of our mixture, and I'm going to take this mixture and I'm going to use it for two different types of dim sum. I'm going to make some sumai, which are called little beggar's purses, and I'm going to make some pot stickers. And up to a certain point, the recipe for these are exactly the same, and then it just has a little variation, a little deviation. So I will first start, and I'll separate some. I'll start and put all of this stuff together to the point to where it gets separated, and then we'll go from there. So I just added the egg white and the cornstarch and just a little bit of this sesame seed oil. The sesame oil gives a very, very nice aromatic flavor. A little bit of chopped cilantro in there gives a real nice flavor. Here we have some chopped ginger, all these flavors of the Orient. And the chopped mushrooms, we'll put all of those in. A little bit of the white pepper can go right in. Here's some chopped garlic, and that can go right in. And at this point, now I'm going to also add the carrots. And at this point, I'm going to hold back, and I'm going to take some of this now and put it in my other bowl after I mix it together here. And we'll use some for the one mixture and some for the other. And here I'll just transfer half of that. Okay. Now, in this one, additionally, besides the ingredients that we've already put in, goes the fresh chopped shrimp. These are for the sumai. And also the carrot. And the carrot gives a nice little, not only crunch, but it gives really a nice color in there also. Okay, so we mix those two in like that. And then in this other dish here, this one gets a little bit of the chopped cabbage, and this gives it a kind of a real nice crunch also and flavor. And then also in here, I have put and mixed into the meat itself. I put some chopped bamboo shoots and some chopped water chestnuts. And so that gets all mixed together. And then I have these pot sticker skins. You can buy these in your local market. In the dairy section is where they usually are kept. And what you want to do here is just take this to create the sumai. Take a spoonful of the mixture and put it down. Just press it in there, and then just kind of press down on it on the top while you work your hands around it just like that. So it's really not that difficult. And you see, and what you get here is a little beggar's purse. And if you look over here, I have a whole bunch of them here in the steamer working for you. Now these need to cook about 10 to 12 minutes is the approximate cooking time on those. And now let me show you how we do the others. The others here, we have the cabbage mixed in with this, and I just want to mix in the cabbage real well. And now on this one, we have a little machine for this one. Nice little gadget here. And what we're going to do is here I have a little egg, just a little beaten egg. And what I'm going to do is just kind of brush the edge here. You know, just brush right around the edge, just like that. And what that does is that acts as a little seal. That's going to seal all the juices in, because on these you want the juices to be all sealed in really tight. And so you just put a little dollop right here in the center, and then you just fold this over just like that, and bang, you have one of these nice little beautifully scallop-shaped pot stickers. So I'm going to get our pan hot a little bit here. I turned it on, and here I just have a little plain salad oil. That's all there is to it. And I'm just going to let my pan heat for a second before I add my salad oil. And I'm just going to put like a tablespoon of that. You don't need very much. And I'm going to add just a drop of the sesame seed oil. Now, once again, the sesame seed oil gives it that aroma. The aromatic of the East is the sesame seed. And just a drop more there. I love the smell of this while it's cooking. It's just really, really nice. And we're just going to roll the oil around in that pan. You don't need a lot of oil, but we just want enough. And I made a whole bunch of these before you guys came, so I'm just going to put them in the pan here. And what we're going to do is we're going to brown one side of these, and then the pan is going to be covered. And we're going to add a little chicken stock to it. And so they're going to fry and then steam. So there are two forms of cooking on this. And let me just finish adding these to the pan here, and it'll be just a minute here till I get this in. And I can start to, it's too bad we don't have smell-o-vision because you would really enjoy the aroma coming off the pan already. There, I just want to get enough so that we all get a little taste here. Okay. There, the pan's filled here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook these just to the point where they get a little, they need just a minute more. You want them to get a little brown, even somewhat dark brown maybe on the one side. And these non-stick pans are really great because they allow you to do that without using a great deal of oil. And so this becomes a very healthy dish as well as delicious. So now I'm just going to take a look. And well, they need just probably one more minute on this side. And they don't need to be turned. You don't turn them on both sides, by the way. You just cook them or fry them on one side. And then once they have this brownness on one side, then we're going to add the chicken stock and have them steamed. In the meantime, I think I'll just take a little peek. Oh, yes, my sumai are doing wonderfully well. And now here I have just a little clarified chicken stock, and we're just going to add a little bit to the pan, and that causes the steam, and then we're just going to put that right on top. And now these just need to steam for one moment. I like to serve these on a plate where I've put some of the herb. In this case, I have the cilantro because we had cilantro in the sumai and also in the pot stickers. And here I have a nice little rose that you can see, and that just adds nice little color. And here I have some wonderful pickled ginger. This is very pungent, and it has kind of a sweet and sour flavor to it. I also have some very hot mustard, and traditionally what is served with this is some hot sauce with a little soy in there, a little dab of this, once again, the sesame seed oil, just for a little bit of flavoring in there, and a little bit of the chopped ginger goes in there, and a little bit of the cilantro. So there you have a nice little mix, and here I have my little chopsticks, and this is kind of the really traditional dipping sauce, but you can use other dipping sauces. You could use apricot jam or a marmalade with a little heat in it, a little cayenne pepper or something like that. Now, my sumai are all done here, and as you can see, they look beautiful, and you can tell when they're done. You can just feel them. They have a nice little firmness to them, and I'm just going to put a few of them right here on the plate for you so you can see how beautiful they look. And this makes a wonderful either first course or cocktail appetizer or a little hors d'oeuvre. And then our pot stickers are also ready, and look at how beautiful these are. Now these are served with the shiny side up. You see how beautifully brown they are on this side? And they go right down the center here. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh boy, these things are wonderful. I just I just love serving these. People say, oh, they're so nice. Now, that, and here we have a little sprinkle of cilantro, and there's your plate. And don't you think that's gorgeous? Something that you'd love to put out with a little glass of sherry or a drink before dinner. So there's our first course in dim sum to touch the heart. Thank you for being with me. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Yasu. That's Greek for hello. So we're talking Greek. I'm Peter V. And if we're talking Greek, we must be talking lamb. I'm executive chef here at Lisa's Bon Appetit. And tonight I'm going to do something Greek for you. Well, almost Greek, because I'm not going to do it really Greek, because the Greeks, in my opinion, overcook their lamb a little, and I do it more the French style. Here I have a whole leg of lamb with the bone still partially in it. This is the way it came from the butcher, with the exception of the fat, which I've removed. I've removed most of the extraneous fat, and then I've removed this bone here, but I saved it because I'm going to put the bone in the pan because we're looking for the flavor. So, and here I have mirepoix. Mirepoix is nothing but a fancy French name for some chopped aromatic vegetables. I have carrots, celery, and some onion, some garlic, and these are just going to make a nice bed for our roast lamb. Now, when you're talking lamb and grease, you're talking garlic, you're talking olive oil, and lots of garlic, and then some aromatic spices, thyme, oregano, mint, dill. All of those go beautifully well with lamb. So here, let me just show you how to remove the bone here. I've cut it all down, and I just have this little bit of bone left here, and that just comes out. But once again, I'm not throwing that away. It goes right into the pan here, and right there, and this is going to act as a little rack for us so that we can put our lamb right on there. And then as I open up this leg, I want to remove any extra fat. You know, now the Greeks would probably leave all this in saying, well, it adds flavor to the lamb and whatever. But, you know, here we like to reduce our fat intake as much as possible. So I'm just going to put that on the side and get rid of it. So if you just go through your lamb and look, and if there's any little fatty deposits, then you can just kind of cut those out, just like I'm doing here. And then when you've got it nice and clean, what I like to do is I like to give it a couple of little slits, and that just kind of evens things out a little bit. Now, as I said before, you know, lamb, you need lots of garlic. So here I have 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, not too terribly finely chopped, but fairly fine. And I'm just going to put those on my board with a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm just going to kind of give them one more little chop here, like that, and then I'm just going to take this stuff and rub it right into the meat. So all that garlic permeates the meat. Now you may say, well, this is a lot of garlic, but Greeks love their garlic in their lamb. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of lemon juice here. Brings out the flavor, livens up the taste. So we have some nice fresh lemon. And you don't need a lemon strainer or anything. You can just squirt that right on there. And if there's a seed in there, don't worry about it. It won't bother anybody. And now we need a little bit of salt and pepper on there. And I have a little salt and pepper mix there. And here I have some very nice aromatic herbs. Thyme, oregano. You can smell the mountains of grease with this. This is wonderful stuff. And they're fresh herbs, not dried, but fresh. Now it's important that you use fresh herbs. If you don't have them, then you can resort to dried, but I would always highly recommend the fresh herbs. And these just get rubbed into. And then we're just going to take our lamb and we're just going to roll it over and just put it together just like that. And we're going to make one little bundle out of it and tie it up. And this just gets a little knot here. And we're just going to put a little slip knot here, just straight across, little knot like that. And it just slips right around. The reason we're tying it is we just want it to kind of stay together here in the beginning. And then we'll just take it and loop it, put another loop around it, and then just pull it tight again. And one more around and tied. There we go. And that's all there is to it. And then we'll just finish off one thing and around the back here and up and around here. And there we go. So it's all tied up. One nice little neat bundle, you know, just a nice little bundle. And go right in there. Now we're going to put a little olive oil on it, just a little bit, and then a little bit more seasoning, a little salt and pepper, and the rest of our herbs right over the top. And there we go. Our lamb is now ready for the oven. And with this lamb, I'm going to serve some beautiful tomatoes. Once again, I'm leaving Greece. I'm going to France now. I'm going to do tomatoes Provençal. They're done with the same type of herbs, a little breadcrumb, a little garlic, a little olive oil, and then baked in the oven. These make a delightful accompaniment. And then to kind of bring it all together, we're going to do some garlic roasted mashed potatoes to make for a full meal. As I said, the lamb is ready for the oven, and it goes. And now let me show you how the tomatoes are done. Here I have a bowl of breadcrumbs, some Parmesan cheese, the same herbs that I used on the lamb, thyme, oregano, mint, a little fresh dill. They all go in. Some more of that wonderful garlic. Can never have too much garlic, you know. That goes right in. And then this just all gets tossed. You take and you season your tomatoes with a little salt and a little pepper. And just a little dash of oil in there, just to moisten the breadcrumbs. And then the breadcrumbs go right on top. And then these are also ready for the oven. And I'll put those right on the plate. And one more, show you how that's done. So, these things are so wonderfully aromatic, you know, these things are really delightful. So these go, and then they get just another little, if you like, little top of olive oil there. And then they go in the oven. Now, they don't go in the same time as the lamb. They go in the last half hour. They need about 20, 25 minutes at 350, and they're perfect. They'll come out at the same time as the lamb. So they go in. Now, we'll go on to our garlic roasted mashed potatoes. These are one of my favorites. And to do those, I have a little French food mill here. And I have my potatoes. My potatoes are all ready to go. And I'm just going to put my food mill right over the top here, just like that. And I'm going to take my roasted garlic. Now, these are whole heads of garlic, which I gently anointed with some olive oil and then put into a 350 oven, and they cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then the whole thing just gets squeezed right in, and all this beautiful roasted flavor goes right into the mashed potatoes. I mean, this stuff is wonderful. And the reason I'm using the food mill is that I don't have to worry about the peel from the garlic, because the strainer will just strain that out. And so I not only have one huge clove, but I have three. So I'm going to use two and then taste them, and it may take the third or not. It's individual preference as to how much garlic you like in your garlic roasted mashed potatoes. So that goes in. Now this just goes right through, and you just work this. It fits right on top of your pan here, and then you can just work it in, and it'll mash it right through. And this goes into the mashed potatoes. You get that wonderful roasted. The garlic flavor isn't strong or harsh, but it's a much more mellow, evocative of the Mediterranean flavor. Okay. There we go. That's wonderful. And I'll just get that all off the bottom here. And right into my mashed potatoes. Beautiful. So now I think that is just delightful. And now I'm going to prepare prepare my platter here a little bit. I'll put this stuff over on the side. And here we have our platter. Okay. And I'm just going to put these mashed potatoes right here on one end. Beautiful. Now, boy, doesn't that look lovely. Then I have some of this mint here that I'll just put there, like that. There we go. Very nice. We have our lamb just out of the oven. Well, not really just out of the oven, because it's important that you let it sit for at least 20 minutes so the juices get to relax and the meat relaxes, and then the blood flows through and calms down so that the juice is all through the meat. This is very important, and not only with roast leg of lamb, but with any roast that you might be doing, whether it's chicken or lamb or beef, it doesn't matter. And here I'm just removing the strings that we put on before. And the only reason we tie it, it's not going to run away anywhere, it's not going anywhere, but it's just to sort of keep the meat together. So here we go. And it's important that you get all the string off, because people wonder what it is that you're feeding them if you don't. So here we have our lamb, the string removed, and I'm going to just start slicing it straight down. Now all the bone's been taken out, so it makes it very easy to carve, and you can see how beautiful it is, nice and still a little pink, very moist, and very, very beautiful and delicious. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start placing the slices around the platter like this, just like that. Oh boy, this smells so good. I can't tell you how good. It's just absolutely delightful. Now just before, in the last 20 minutes of roasting, I took it out of the oven and I poured off all the extraneous fat, and I just added a little plain defatted chicken stock, and that mixed with the lamb juices. So now I have some beautiful juices here that are just absolutely clear and absolutely delicious and fat-free. And you see how beautifully pink it still is, not overdone. Now the Greeks would like it cooked more, but I think that this is the proper way to have it. A little pink in the center, more well done on the end, so there's a little bit of everything for everybody. And then, now just doesn't that look magnificent? And if you want, then you can take and just put this right there on the edge. Now, I told you that with this we're going to serve our tomatoes Provençal, and I have those here on another platter. And I also have here an eggplant, which I filled with some baba ganoush. This is a roasted eggplant salad, and if you like, just ask for the recipe and we'll be glad to send it to you. And here are our roasted tomatoes, and we'll put one on either side there, and you can see that this makes a wonderful dish. There, served family style. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of this beautiful natural gravy and just pour it right over the top, and there you have it. Lamb for a king. One I'm sure that you'll enjoy. Please make this at home. We'll gladly send you the recipe, and enjoy. I'm Peter V. Hope to see you again next time.